Alright, welcome back everybody. My name is Zavaar Shah. Today we're going to continue on the Unit 1 Kotlin Basics for Android development. This is for the study jams, the Android study jams that we started a couple of weeks back, I think around 2 weeks. So we're just going to continue on Pathway 3 because we finished off with Pathway 2 last time. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pretty much build a happy birthday card here. So I guess to create a we have to first configure the project, right? So make sure to install Android Studio if you haven't. We installed that last time, so I hope you have it. So pretty much what they want you to do is create a new project. If you were here last time, we pretty much created like the Hello World project already. The thing is, it's the same app, so I'm not gonna make a whole new project just for it to be, just so like the project file can be called Hello Happy Birthday. It's the same thing. So I'm just gonna keep my code, or keep my project. Yeah, and so if you were to run it, it would look like this, and that's what we left off. That's like the default code. So they're gonna want us to build stuff with the layout editor, and here's kind of an overview of that. And we're gonna go ahead and follow the instructions just like they have it here. Okay, so to get into that, or to change our like happy or the hello world message as it currently is, I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I guess I can, what does this button do that'll make it debug? I guess we can just play it, let that run. It'll build my app as it is right now. But we want to actually edit the layout, so to do that we're going to go over to app in our directory up here, and then go over to src, which is the source, go over to main, and then res, and then go down to layout, and this is like our main layout file. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that. It's going to bring up this whole kind of dialogue here, so I'm going to hide that. And so this is pretty much, if you zoom in here, I'll try to, you can see right here, and you can see the Google Pixel emulator is kind of loading up over there. But to actually change this, it's probably over here somewhere. Yeah, this text right here. I guess you can change this to Happy Birthday, and yeah, that changes just like that. Okay, so this is pretty much like all we did was just change the content of this default text, but to like add your own kind of text view component, as they call it, we're just going to delete this. So over to your component tree, just delete that text view, and then on the top, like this palette here, you can just drag in your new component. So I'm going to drag in kind of centered up here and make my own new message, which will be similar to the old one. And this will be Happy Birthday Zavaar, which is my name. So I'm gonna put that in there, and it should show up just like that. And so now you're gonna see an exclamation point here saying missing constraints in constraint file. So I'm gonna click here. It's gonna give me a it's mad because I kind of put it, well, it's not constrained by the screen. So over here you can constrain it. So I'll make it like, I don't actually know how this works, but yeah, I guess we can constrain it like that. Let me add this right offset. So like I can add like a manual offset here, make it 8 by 8 pixels, and now it'll be constrained just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead over this and save it. Yeah, so that's pretty much how you do that. I'm going to see why this doesn't change. So you can see my changes to this app have been finally reflected upon the Android emulator. And to make this kind of like a birthday card, which is what this is, we can add another text view over here, kind of throw it down here, and look over the text here. I'm going to say, from friends, from yours, I guess, yours truly. Okay, yeah, yours truly. I don't know if it's a apostrophe S there, but Yours truly. Okay, hold on. I actually have to spell check this. It's a little late right now. Okay, I had that completely wrong. Okay, so it's just from yours truly, like that. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over and give this an offset. Kind of make it. I guess I can make this 8 and 8 on the bottom left of my screen, so it'll be kind of fixed down there. It doesn't like that, so I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. I don't know what I just did. Hold on. Can I make this bigger? Oh no, it's fine. Okay, sorry. I thought this was messed up. No, that's fine. So now it looks kind of more like a birthday card, and those changes will reflect sooner or later. I don't know. It should automatically show up in the app. I don't know why it's doing that. It's kind of weird. I can try to debug, or I can try to do it in debug mode, and I might have a better time with that. You might have to restart it again. But yeah, you'll see the changes right here from yours truly. So yeah. Okay, let's stylize kind of. Let's make this text look a lot less bland. So I'm gonna go over here and look at all the little attributes, text appearance. Click that drop down, and I guess we can make it a little bigger by using like body, or not body. Sorry, large. Yeah, that makes it a lot better. Let's change the font here. Let's use something fancy. So I'll do like a cursive. There we go. I guess normal, and then we can make this bigger if we wanted to. I don't really mind. We can make this a fancy color. I'll make it something readable. I'll just keep it black. And yeah, I guess that's we can make it bold just so you can see it better. I think it's already italicized, but yeah. And you can do the same thing for the sign off kind of. I'll make this italicized, and I can also change the font here. I'll make it like thin. Oh, that's too thin. You can barely even see it. I'll just do like casual then, I guess, and then get rid of that italicized and make it bold just so you can see it better. And just like that, your app looks a little better now. I guess in terms of stylizing, that kind of stuff. So let me make this actually a little bit bigger because it's not too big. I guess we can just we can also just manually change the text size here. So I'll make this like 24, not too small. There we go. There's something a little bigger. Yeah, I guess we can just make it fit on the top here. So you can see like this right side. I'm assuming this is just like a unstyled version, kind of like something to give you, kind of like a blueprint. This right side just giving you straight up the raw, what's going on, what's gonna get rendered raw or natively, and then this is like your actual preview on the left here. So let's go on and move forward with, I guess the rest of this little birthday card. Okay, so I mean that's pretty much it. We can also add like an image here. I don't have like a custom image, so I'll just put like this star and let's make it like a little bigger. That looks really great. I'll definitely give this to one of my friends. But here we go. We kind of have a little star there. It's not gonna like that it's not constrained to the container, so I'm gonna do that. I'll give it this offset stuff. This is fine. I guess we can. No, actually, I'll remove these. Yeah, I guess this is fine. I guess, yeah, that is fine. And then let me go ahead and save this and make it kind of. Let's do the apply code changes here. Let's see if it refreshes. Don't think it will. You have to restart it. Okay. So I'll click rerun here. There we go. It's rerunning. And there we go. There's our app, beautifully written. So let's move on to the next activity we have. Okay, so this next project is going to be building a kind of dice roller application. So to kind of get that logic, like the random randomization, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna head over here to kotlinlang.org, and this is pretty much we're just gonna do some, I guess, a coding exercise in Kotlin here, real quick coding lesson. Pretty much, you have to have the main function, so let me write that back in. And to get like a range, like a predefined range of values, you have a variable here, val dice range is equal to 1.6, so that gives you 1 through 6. This is like our dice range, so anything between 1 and 6. Now to actually get like a random selection of this range, what we're gonna do is let's make a variable called random random number, I guess, and then this will be equal to the dice range dot random, and that'll take a random kind of value from 1 through 6, and then we can go ahead and print this out, stating random number is random number, and run this code right here, and you'll see that that is random. I'll run it again for you. Random, and yeah, it's pretty much just random. So this is kind of the logic we're going to use moving forward here. Okay, so this is all nice and fun, but we can't really like modularize this code. I mean, like if I were to just, let's say I want a new random number, I'd have to declare a new value here called dice range 2, and then do the same thing, and then take a random value from there. So I'll just print out what's it called, dice range 2 dot random, and then that'll give me another one. And then if I want to do it again, I'd have to make this a 3, just so that I don't have any duplicates, because this will be the same like range, but I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I think if I just do it random, I think it'll just make 2 random. I guess we can test that out right now. Oh, it's not. It's not the same. Well, I guess never mind. Never mind what I just said. But it is important to kind of make use of classes and inheritance. Well, I don't know about inheritance specifically, but you can make class objects in Kotlin pretty similarly as you can in Java. So we're going to go ahead up here and create a class here called dice, and this will make our code a lot more modular, a lot more clean, instead of like copying and making a whole new dice or like a dice roller. So this will just kind of encapsulate everything we need in terms of a dice. So let's have a variable here called var sides is equal to 6, and let's have a function here called roll. And so pretty much you were to call this, you can have like my dice 1 is equal to dice, you call it just like that. Everything within that method can be accessed just like any other language, so it's a nice way to modularize your code and all. So I mean, what you can do now is you can put that logic, like the random number logic, so val rand, I'll just call it random number is equal to everything from 1 to the sides dot random. Let's see if that works, and then we're gonna go ahead and print out, we'll print the new line saying the random number, and then now if I want to roll my dice, my first dice, so I'll just call this my dice, or it would be my die. Actually, I'm not sure about the linguistics on that, but I'll do my dice dot roll, and you should see it actually rolling. Hold on, let me think about what happened here. Unresolved reference. Give me 1 second. I just that was silly of me. I forgot you have to do the val identifier and then define your variable, and then you could use it just like that. So I just kind of forgot to do that. You can see, if I roll it, I can roll this specific dice, and it'll do that, just like that. And it pretty much it makes it easier because now you can kind of have all your logic in one place instead of having it within your main function a whole number of times instead. And so that makes your code a lot cleaner. It makes it more concise, and just like that. And so the next thing we can do is make this a lot more refined. I guess we can refine this further, so we can make this function have a return value. So we can, instead of actually printing it out, right now this function right here is void within dice.roll. It's a void function, so to make this return the random integer rather than printing it out, we can return an int here by putting a colon and then int, and then we can, instead of printing it out, we can just return it. Now this code won't really do anything because we call this function, but this function just returns the value. So now we can just do print ln, then my dice.roll, and then you should see that it works just like that. And so this is a lot more concise because now you can use this value in other pieces or in other functions or whatever you want, and just furthermore makes it a lot cleaner, a lot better coding practices. And so I guess we can move forward with this now. Okay, so let's say we want to change our sides here, and it's so if we want to change the number of sides we have and make this a different kind of die instead of a traditional 6-sided die, what we can do is we can have this first die, and instead of just printing it out, we'll say put this in a string, and then I'll just cut this for now and say first dice roll, first dice, and we'll say my dice, and then we'll print out the value that we just got from there. And if we run that, you'll see that it just makes it a lot cleaner. So let's create a new dice here called my weird dice. Hope I spelled weird right. Okay, and then we're just gonna do that, and then do my weird dice.sides is equal to. So this pretty much allows us to redefine sides. So we can make sides into we can make our sides, the sides of our die, a different number. So we can make it like a binary dice, or in other words, just a coin. So it can be 1 or 2, and so if we do that, then it'll be heads or tails kind of situation. And so if we do if I copy this here and do my, or I can say second dice, and then I'll call this my weird dice roll, and then instead of doing that, we're gonna do my weird dice dot roll, and you should be able to see that it will always be 1 or 2. It won't be anything else. 1 or 2, and so that's kind of how you change the values within there, because remember, we're actually using sides right here, and so this value will be changed for this instance of that class, and so that just is kind of a fun little I guess programming lesson. And and there's also ways to kind of make it have your class have parameters. So instead of just hard coding it right here, what you can do is you can do put parentheses around here, have a value num sides, and then that'll be an integer, and then replace this with this value with our previously sides value. And now what you can do is just change the value in here. So traditionally it's a 6-sided dice, so I'm going to put that value in there, and then I'm going to call my weird dice, just have it to have 2 instead of changing it directly in memory. And so it'll initialize like that, and you'll see that it'll do the same behavior, but now your code is a little more refined, I guess. So yeah, let's move on with let's move on. Alright, so I'm going to now close out of this, and we're going to go ahead and create a new project here. So in case you don't know what I'm going to do, we're going to pretty much set up the dice roller application now. So I'm going to call this I guess we can be empty activity next, and I'll call this app the dice roller, and I guess we can just throw it in my C drive there, and then we'll make this work on Android 19 or API 19, so it'll work on most devices. Even, you know, the functionality doesn't really matter, or I guess the extended functionality doesn't matter, so we can use a lower API version. And we're gonna go ahead and finish just like that, and we should be greeted with, I'll close out of this old project, we can terminate all that. And so here are we with our kind of I guess the code here, the boilerplate stuff. I'm gonna let this load for a bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so I kind of let this load for a bit. I guess I can go ahead and start debugging. Still kind of getting used to this myself. So first things first, we're going to want to change that layout. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and go to our res folder under app, go over to layout, activity main XML, and here's like our main layout. We're going to want to add a button for like rolling our dice. So I'm going to drag this button into the layout here. It's a little slow. Oh, I think I just added 2 buttons. Okay, well, that's fine. And we're going to position this right upon our kind of text here. So it'll be right on it. Yeah, so kind of just like that. And then I guess I can center it. And let's see if it's getting mad. Missing constraints. I guess we can make that the constraint. That's not a good constraint because whatever. Yeah, that's probably fine actually. So can I make this 0? That'll put it all the way down there. I guess that's fine. Here, I'll make this like nothing. Let me get rid of that. Okay, does it not like me doing that? Okay, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just get rid of this, and then I'll add that and just keep it static like that. So that's pretty much our button. We can change the content. Oh, it's still getting upset. Let's see. This is just so unbelievably slow. Hold on. Let's see what it's getting upset over. Okay. At this point, I don't really know what it wants from me. Okay, we'll just kind of hard code it like that. Not a good practice because if your phone screen is something else, I assume it will kind of screw up that, but that's fine. So I'm going to change this button to roll instead, because this will be binded to our roll functionality later on. And let's change this positioning actually and make it something along the lines of 0 here, 0 there, and then make this, just remove that, and so now it's like centered fine. Okay, so I guess that's how you do it now. So now it won't get mad at me doing it like that. And so now we have our roll kind of button here, just like that, and it's gonna give us this warning here saying that what is it saying? Hard-coded text. So the thing is, what we can do is we can right-click here, and I'm gonna just try to see if I can find it. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So let's see where we left off here. You're getting an error here, or it wasn't actually an error, so we don't need to deal with that. But something important worth mentioning, saying our ID here, you see that there's a button ID. This is just called button. I'll call this let's just call this dice button, or make more sense to call it a roll button here. And so we'll just remember what this is called here, and this is eventually we're going to access this ID, or we're going to use this ID to access this button and listen for when it gets clicked. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go over here on my right. Yes, just let it do that. Okay, should be fine now. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and go over to our main activity here under Java app Java, and then this com.example.diceroller, and this is kind of where our main code is. So we're gonna need a couple things like to do like the button stuff. Let's see if they already gave it to us. I think they did. We're just gonna need to access one more module here, so I'm gonna do import Android dot widget dot button, just like so, and this is so that we can access like the button. So let's get the roll button here. So inside of like our main function, we're gonna have a value here called roll button, and I think it just gave me like a little insight. Okay, whatever. And then this will kind of be of type button, and that's equal to the find view by ID, and so that's where we use that ID, which is r.id.roll button, and so that's like it pretty much has access to like that button now. And so now what we can do is do like roll button dot and I just realized I called this the same thing. This doesn't need to be called the same thing. I guess that was a coincidence. So we're gonna do roll button dot set on click listener, and this will have a couple parameters that we're gonna use. So the first one, well, it's actually you don't need any parameters. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just you're gonna have like this kind of on click. It'll run this code here. So I'm gonna have a value here called toast, and so here we're actually gonna make a toast. And so what a toast is like a little blip that shows up on your screen, a little dialogue that shows up on your screen. So you'll see it. So it'll be toast dot, and this is a part of the Android widget library. It just said it right there, and it'll be toast dot make text, and then it'll be this is our first parameter, and then dice rolled, and then so that's like the text, like this is what's going to show up. And then the last thing here is toast dot length short. Don't really know what that is, but you know, we gotta have it. Oh, and yeah, you have to import the toast android.widget.toast because it just auto imported, so I'm assuming you need to do that. And then now you can do toast.show. And so let me run this real quick here. I wish it auto updated. I don't know how to do that. I thought it would do it. I had it once. I know it's supposed to do it, but again, I don't know why it's not. So we're gonna let this kind of create my app, and we're gonna click roll here, and you can see that the dice rolled. You can see that little dialogue there that it rolled. And so now how do we like you just remembered we made that that little dice roller. I wish I didn't close out of it, but we're just gonna have to write it again. So pretty much we had a class to create a dice object, so like get our random logic. So let's create that real quick. Let's create a dice object, and this will have a value, like the initial parameters will have a value of what's it called? A value of num sides, if I remember correctly, and then this is of type int. And then here inside of it we have a function called roll, and this returns an integer, and then we're gonna return one dot num sides. And so this will be the range. Yeah, it just kind of showed it up there. That's pretty nice. It'll show you like get a number in between there, and then we'll do dot random to get like the random number, just like that. And so now let's say we want to create like a dice. So val my dice, and this will be of type dice, is equal to dice. And that's actually kind of redundant code. You don't need to actually explicitly define it there. I think it's implied, though we do need to provide the number sides. So the number of sides on a traditional die is 6. So I'm going to do that. And so to actually get the, I'll make this lowercase too. And then to get this value, what we can do is we can say like dice rolled, and then say instead of dice rolled we can be like you rolled a, and then we can do my dice dot roll, and then run that. So let me actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's see if that makes it work. Oh no, I think that just puts the, okay, trying to figure this out here. So I'm just gonna debug app again, and then hopefully it'll just remake it. I'll try this button next, but you'll see that it's pretty much gonna put this value that we just created, or like this, from this object, from this dice that we created, we're gonna get a new value that we roll. You say, okay, you rolled a 6. All right, I'm gonna click it again. You rolled a 6. I'm gonna click it again. You rolled a 3. So it's pretty much random, like that. And so now what we're gonna want to do is, that's kind of boring, you know, it goes away after a little bit. So what we can do is we can make it show up on our like dialogue, or show up on our layout actually. And so that'll be manipulating kind of the text on our screen here. So we're gonna go ahead and, so to actually change like this value right here, this hello world value, I guess we can change its default value. So let's go over to the res layout activity main and be like, let's give this a, or sorry, we gotta click on the hello world here, and this is, I'll just leave this text view the main ID, but I'm gonna go over here and change the text here and call this text click the button to begin, or I guess we can just say click the button, yeah, just whatever, click the button. That's gonna be like the default message. So we're gonna go back to what's it called, we're gonna, oh, that's cool, this is like the XML. I was wondering where that was, but yeah, this is what we just wrote, or what this whole design is in XML. That's pretty cool. So now we can go back to our main activity.kt, the Kotlin file, and now we can set that value, or like to set that value. So what I'm going to want to do is create a new value here, val, what's it called? Val, let's call this result text, or I'll just call it main text, because there's only one other place where text is, and that's in the center of the screen. So I'll call this main text is of type text view, and so that requires you importing android.widget.textView. Mine just auto imported, but make sure you import that there. And this is equal to the find view by ID, and then we're gonna do r.id. That text view that we changed, or we didn't change, that'll be referring to this value. So now we have main text kind of binded to this text view. And so now to change it, it's actually quite simple. Now you can say, like down here, where we actually click the button, like this is where we, like this is the code that actually clicks or listens when we click the button. So when the button is clicked, we can do main text dot, we can actually manipulate the kind of properties of this text file and just change it to the value that we got the roll from. So I'm going to make a new variable here called val roll value, and this will be of type integer, and this will be equal to my dice dot roll, and I'll just refer to this here, and I'll also refer to this value. You're probably going to get a type error because this is a char, or because this is an integer value and type text is of string. So what we're going to want to do is we can, one way I'm thinking of doing this is just throw it in a string here, kind of a template string. I'm sure you could just .toString it, but I'm not familiar with that. And then instead we can actually just concatenate this and say you rolled, in fact we can just kind of extrapolate this entire piece of code here and just say roll text or roll message, I guess, and then this will be of type string, and then just paste this value here, and then we'll just do my dice dot roll. And so now we can reuse this code over here, we can reuse this code over here, and just like that, we should be able to. So let me build the app here. I'll do run app. It'll be building down here. I'll just give it a quick second here. Oh, it's almost done anyways. So yeah, it says click the button, so I'm gonna roll over here, and it says you rolled a 4, just like here too now, but the difference is you rolled a 4. Like, this is persistent, this is always changing. It's a little small, so I'm gonna go over to my main activity.xml and make this a little bigger. Let's see here. Let me find, yeah, so text appearance, we can make this a lot bigger. Ooh, that's very big. Okay, we'll make this a little smaller here. Display 1, yeah, like that. And then we can make this different, we can make this like condensed. It's too light actually. I'll just make it condensed, just like that. I bold it. Not really. I'll just keep it that. I'll save this, and I'll run it again. So I'm gonna let that do its thing. But you can see, the code that we did in the Kotlin demonstration, it's translating here, and we're using it just like so. So I'm gonna click the button. It says you rolled a 5, just like that. Yeah, it's gonna get a different value here. So there you go, 2. And so that's pretty much your dice application in a nutshell. You can see like how it works. Kind of the toast messages are a little slow, just because they're kind of queued up, I assume. But you can see the kind of main functionality is pretty reactive, because it's changing almost instantly, though the toast messages are a bit delayed. But that's pretty much the entire project in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this little kind of project here, and yeah, I mean, there's more to do. There's more stuff to do with this kind of with Kotlin and with Android development. Hopefully this kind of made you interested in, or pursuing more into this kind of field. There is a demand for app developers, especially Android ones, so it's kind of nice that you got a good head start on it. This is your first application. Hopefully you can build many more. There's a lot more to do in the Android basics in Kotlin. There's a whole nother unit. We just did the main thing, which is like the dice application, so there's more to it. There's unit 2, for instance, and you can go ahead and actually master a lot of the more nuances with what's it called, Android Studio, and just Android app development. Let's see what else there is. Navigation, so that's just like navigating through different parts of your application. Yeah, you get to more complex topics, which is always good. And then the final unit, or no, there's a lot more. There's 6 units, but they're all pretty good. I would recommend this to you if you're very interested. I will hopefully, this is the link right here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a good day. Thank you. Goodbye.